everybody. Welcome back to episode 73, Talk Fame Podcast with your host, Kylie Montigny. And I'm so excited to have on actress and singer Maya Weintraub. Thanks so much for coming on, Maya.
Hi,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So you're basically an actress and singer. What basically made you want to start doing that and being in this industry?
So since I was little, I've always wanted to do I was in lots of theater productions, and since last year, I was just well, actually, I met my friend. Well, we're not so close anymore, but Millie Davis. And I was in characters with her mom that runs it, and it was so she kind of inspired me to do on-screen acting. And so ever since last year, I got an agent and I've been just really into that. Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite theater production, or you have a favorite role they played?
I really like Annie in theater, and I got to portray, I didn't book the role, but Degrassi. I auditioned as one of the roles in that, and I just really connected to that role, and it was just like me in a character.
I love that. And plus, you said, you're good friends with Millie Davis, and I absolutely love her. I follow her on social media and everything. What was something that basically touched you with her and her acting? Because she touched me in many ways with her, what she does.
Well, I only knew her when we were younger. So she was filming Wonder at the time, and it was just I don't know, I just had such a strong passion for everything that she did, and I was just always so jealous of everything that she would do, and I was oh, I want to be that, I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just exactly when someone when I see someone, I'm thinking myself how I want to do that too. It's just the little things that make me want to do that.
Yeah.
And so when you're auditioning kind of for a role, how do you usually get into the mindset of the character?
So I have to think what just happened before, what happened, what's going on in their mind, what they're feeling. And I usually have to think the emotion that they're feeling, and then remember a time when I was feeling that, and kind of just put myself in their mind. And so I kind of it becomes more real, and I relate it to an event that happened in my life, so I can portray it how more realistic.
That's awesome. Was there a moment where it was kind of difficult for you to get into a role, or was it kind of oh, how am I supposed to get in this role? I really never had an experience like this. Because it really happens all the time with actors.
Right. So I did, and I had to talk about that with my acting coach, and he told me, he was well, everyone always experiences all these feelings. It doesn't have to be a similar event. It just has to be a time when you felt that feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. So out of all the roles that you get to portray, what role kind of meant the most to you, kind of similar to the question before?
I feel probably the one from Degrassi.
Yeah, that's amazing. Were you what was it like for you to do that role? In the first place, what was the character like, and kind of what was the experience like?
Well, I didn't book the role, so I wasn't able to do it. But when I was auditioning, it was just when I read the script, it was just it was me talking. I was these are all experiences that I've been through, and experiences of just that I felt this exact thing. And it was just it was basically me with a new name.
Yeah. I absolutely love it, because there's not a lot of roles that are very similar to the actual person that is auditioning for the role, which is kind of very rare. What was kind of your reaction to think oh, this character is so much like me, it's gonna be so easy kind of for me to portray?
Yeah, I was so excited, and I really wanted to book that role, and I was it's literally me. And it was I don't know, it was just easier to portray, and just it just I felt more connected to the character.
So you have a YouTube channel called Maya's Song. So what kind of drew you to create a YouTube channel for your music?
So actually, my dad created that YouTube channel when I was younger.
Oh,
So I don't actually run it, but we just wanted to like share my singing online. And yeah, I just like I wanted to, when I was younger, I wanted to be more of a singer than an actor. So
mhm.
that was kind of my way of like getting out there.
Yeah, like absolutely. Like, do you have like a cover that you did? Because I looked through some of your videos and stuff, and they're really all amazing. And
Thank you.
do you have like a cover that kind of stuck out to you the most, or like a song they kind of want to portray, like to sing, or that kind of stuck out to you a little bit more for the last couple of years?
I think um the song This Is Me, I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Um I got to perform that at like a big party a few years ago, and that was really fun.
Okay, is
Um,
that like the Demi Lovato song or the Greatest Showman song?
Greatest Showman.
Oh, I was going to say, like, I'm the
Yeah.
biggest Greatest Showman fan ever. So I was like, I absolutely knew like when you said it. It's like that song really has like a true meaning though. He's like it
Mhm.
really says don't change for anyone because like you're really amazing the way you are. And especially people like around our age are really kind of trying to fit in and change ourselves.
Yeah,
Fit in. That's really something that people really shouldn't do because people should really like you for who you are, not like trying to be fake a little bit, try to act a
yeah,
little bit to be liked.
definitely. Yeah.
And so during the pandemic, how do you get motivation to kind of keep going with being in the industry and everything?
So it's very hard. A lot of the time, I don't have motivation to do it.
Yeah.
I kind of have to just force myself to do it. But definitely just like kind of reminding myself like what I'm doing it for and like just having fun with it and thinking it's not like a job. It's just like fun.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but it's been definitely hard to get motivation, and it's like I try really hard to get it, but sometimes it's not always there.
Yeah, like I'm the same that way. Like I literally started this podcast during the pandemic and it's literally so hard to get motivation. Sometimes I'm like, God, I'm really not in the mood to do this interview today. Like I'm just not in
Yeah.
the mood. I just want to lay down, watch television all day, just take a little step back. I'm thinking to myself like, Kylie, you need to get this done. And I know it's a hobby and everything, something fun to do. I'm like to myself like, Kylie, you need to kind of force yourself to get off your butt and do this interview because you do not want to cancel. That's something I
Yeah.
really hate doing. But like, how did you kind of like force yourself? Like, how was kind of your motivation to get up, and actually do some things?
So I actually went to Pinterest board that helped me with like just a bunch of like actors and like in film progress, and that always like usually helps motivate me. So I just look at that. Um, and I try to pretend that I'm like the character that I'm playing. Like I try to pretend that it's like not me. So it's like that gives me more motivation as well.
Yeah, like that. Sometimes, like when I watch a movie, and I just say I'm familiar with this movie. Sometimes I'll act it out. Like, do you ever do that? Sometimes when you're watching a movie,
Yes,
you portray
always.
someone. I
Yes.
always do that too. I'm like, oh, I'm always saying lines. Like, you just have the lines memorized, and you're trying to be this person. Then I'm like, I'm not an actor. I don't know what to do. Like, this is something I always kind of did. But like, do you have anyone that you kind of look up to as an actress and singer? That's kind of in general. Everyone that you look up to.
Um, so yeah, McKenna Grace, I
Oh
love
yeah,
her
I love
so
her.
much. She's just like amazing, and like my dream is like to be friends with her. Like, oh my God.
Mhm,
Um, she's just such an amazing actor, and she's an amazing singer too. And
mhm.
I love her songs, and
Me too.
just like her acting is so good. Like I look up to her so much.
Me too. Like, have you seen her in Full House?
Yes.
She was amazing in Full
Hmm.
House. Like, she
Yeah.
like struck me from there, and her music, especially her debut single. I think this was her debut single, "Haunted House." I think it was her debut
That
single.
was my favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one too. And she's so talented for her age. I think
Yeah.
she's like younger than me, probably. I'm not sure. I have to do a little bit more research. But like, I think she's like similar to our age group. But to think like someone is actually that talented and actually growing, starting to become big, and she's been in the industry for a couple of years, so she's
Yeah.
like kind of been around since basically when we were both kids and when she was a kid. And like to think
Yeah.
like she's doing all these amazing things at like 15, 16 years old is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
Definitely.
like it really makes me a motivation to get like try harder, keep going.
Yeah.
You think like there's so many people our age that are really shining a bright on a lot of people and people look up to them. It's something that really kind of pushes me never, it helps you like never give up on everything.
Yeah.
And so it kind of since quarantine started back in like 2020, how much do you think has changed in terms of like acting, songwriting since the pandemic started?
So definitely a lot. I've been trying to like it's hard because the auditions are all self-tapes instead of in person, which I never really got to experience an in-person audition. Like I've been there once, but I kind of started while I was in quarantine, so it wasn't that much of a difference for me, but like I just never got to experience what it was like out of quarantine.
Yeah, like what's the hardest part about doing self tapes? I always wanted to know that because a lot of people that I talk to always do self tapes, or since like quarantine they couldn't go in person. But what was like kind of the hardest part for you? Because I always wanted to know.
Definitely like setting up and like putting the backdrop up, getting the camera right and like the lighting. That's always the hardest part. That takes like at least like 15 minutes to do.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was just like it's just very time consuming.
Yeah.
Uh, and then it's also easier in a way because you get to like do multiple takes and like watch it over and see which one you like the best. So it has
Yeah,
pros and cons.
like if you were in person, then it's like a little one take and done. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of a little better since you get to retake it a couple times and make sure you like it. But then in person auditions, you like, oh, I
yeah,
messed up, then blah, you're done.
yeah.
So it's a little kind of more or less like stress free, I'll say, a little stress free.
Yeah, definitely. And also if you like forget your lines, you can like redo it and like it's not like you have well, usually I think in person they give you more than one chance,
No,
but I'm not sure. But it's just much less stressful and like more easier.
yeah. And so the final question for the interview is, what is some advice for younger generations that like to be like an actress or a singer or be in the entertainment industry one day?
I would definitely say to start young. I missed out a lot because I only started this year, and
Yeah.
like everyone my age is already like their resume is like crazy, and I've done like a few things. So it's just like bigger competition. So it's definitely easier to start young and build up your resume.
Yeah, like I have like that's not how I kind of like feel because like I started the whole podcast thing in April 2021. And I was always a very kind of shy girl, and I'm in like that's how a lot of people are when they're in the industry. Like they're always kind of shy or something, kind of little that platform. And I now I think about it, I'm like, why did I start this earlier in
Yeah.
quarantine and build up my resume and actually try build my connections more instead of started in late quarantine when things are kind of starting to open up. But like, what kind of that kind of stuck out to you? Like, what kind of kept you busy and everything during quarantine since we were allowed to leave the house? And like for me personally, I thought it was gonna last 2 weeks or a couple of
Mhm.
weeks. So I thought, oh, it's gonna be the best thing ever. I get to watch, relax, and everything. I'm sure that's how everyone felt. But how did you kind of stay busy throughout this time? Because for me, it was so difficult to stay busy and everything. So I want to kind of know what your take is.
So I definitely like relied on TikTok.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
um, I enjoy doing that. Um, I didn't really do much over quarantine. I kind of just like sat in my room, went on my phone, would
Yeah,
like watch Netflix.
yeah.
Nothing big. I wouldn't really use my time for anything good.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm the same way. I'm like always in my room on my phone watching TikTok, watching Netflix. That's like my
yeah,
go-to little thing. But do you have a favorite Netflix show or like a movie that you
I
like?
really like what's it called? Shameless.
Oh yeah, Shameless is a good one.
Yes, and Ginny and Georgia is amazing too.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Ginny and Georgia. Like this like, recently just got done with season 2 of filming, so it should be
Yeah.
out soon. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, my
Like
friend's actually in that show, and I was always like, it's so exciting to see her.
yeah, and like that I literally like binge watch it like every week. Like it's something that I
Yeah.
absolutely can't stop watching. And plus I've been a fan of Brienne Howley who played Georgia for a long time. So I knew who she was before. It's just basically why I watched the show. Well, maybe not the reason why, but like a little bit reason.
Yeah.
But like I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you so much. And it was so good to speak with you, and we'll definitely see you soon for sure. Thanks so much for coming on, Maya.
Of course. It was nice speaking to you too.
Thank you. We'll definitely see you soon. Thanks so much.
Of course.
Okay, bye.
Bye.